The starship Horizon cut through the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge, her keen eyes fixed on the main view screen. The ship had been on its deep space exploration mission for 3 years, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge further into the galaxy. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Ravi Mehta from his station, "I'm picking up an unusual energy signature at the edge of our sensor range." Ilara's interest peaked. "Can you identify it, Lieutenant?" Ravi's fingers danced over his console. "Negative, Captain. It doesn't match any known configurations in our database. But it's massive, whatever it is." "Bring us in closer, Helm," Ilara ordered. "Let's see what we're dealing with." As the Horizon approached, the anomaly began to take shape on their screens. It was a ship, but unlike anything they had ever seen before. Its design defied human engineering principles, with curves and angles that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around it. "My God," whispered Commander Jack Torres, Ilara's first officer. "It's alien." The bridge fell silent as the reality of the situation sank in. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. "Life signs?" Ilara asked, breaking the tension. Ravi scanned the alien vessel. "Faint, but present. Captain, I think they're in trouble. Their power signatures are fluctuating wildly." Ilara's mind raced. First contact with an alien species was monumental enough, but to find them in distress. The next few moments could shape the future of human-alien relations forever. "Open a channel," she commanded. "All frequencies." The communications officer nodded, and Ilara took a deep breath before speaking. "This is Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We've detected that your ship may be in distress. Can we offer assistance?" Seconds ticked by with no response. Ilara was about to repeat the message when suddenly, the view screen flickered to life. The image was distorted, but they could make out a figure, distinctly non-human, with iridescent scales and large, multifaceted eyes. The alien spoke, its voice a melodious trill that the ship's computer struggled to translate. "Critical. Systems failing. Need help." The transmission cut out abruptly, leaving the bridge in stunned silence once more. Ilara turned to her crew, determination etched on her face. "Well, you heard them. Prepare for rescue operations. Let's show our new friends the best of what humanity has to offer." As the Horizon's crew sprang into action, none of them could have predicted the series of events they were about to set in motion. Events that would test their courage, challenge their beliefs, and ultimately reshape the galaxy itself. Commander Torres approached Ilara, his voice low. "Captain, are you sure about this? We have no idea what we're dealing with. It could be a trap." Ilara met his gaze steadily. "It could be Jack, but it could also be our one chance to make a positive first impression on an alien species. If we turn our backs now, what does that say about us? About humanity?" Jack nodded slowly, understanding the weight of the moment. "You're right, of course. I'll prep the away team." As Jack moved off to prepare for the rescue mission, Ilara turned back to the view screen, studying the alien vessel. Its design was both beautiful and unsettling, a reminder of just how different its creators must be from humans. "Lieutenant Mehta," she called out, "run a full spectral analysis on that ship. I want to know everything we can before we send our people over there." "Aye, Captain," Ravi responded, his fingers already flying over his console. Dr. Samantha Chen, the ship's chief medical officer, arrived on the bridge, her face a mixture of excitement and concern. "Captain, I heard the news. Are we really going to attempt first aid on an alien species we know nothing about?" Ilara turned to her with a grim smile. "That's exactly what we're going to do, Doctor. I need you to prepare for every possible scenario. We have no idea what their biology is like, what might help them or harm them. Can you handle it?" Samantha's eyes lit up with the challenge. "You bet I can, Captain. I didn't spend all those years studying xenobiology theory just to sit this one out. I'll have my team ready for anything. As the Horizon's crew prepared for the unprecedented rescue mission, tensions ran high. They were about to make history, but the risks were enormous. One wrong move could spark an interstellar incident, or worse. Elara watched her crew work, feeling a surge of pride. This was what they had trained for, what they had dreamed of. The unknown lay before them, full of danger and promise in equal measure. Whatever happened next, humanity was about to take its first real steps into a larger universe. The alien ship loomed closer on the view screen, its strange architecture a constant reminder of the momentous task ahead. Elara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "All hands," she announced shipwide, "prepare for first contact procedures. This is not a drill. We are about to engage with an alien species in distress. Remember your training, trust your instincts, and above all, represent the best of humanity. We're making history today. Let's make it count." As her words echoed through the ship, the crew of the Horizon stood ready to face the unknown, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of their entire species. The next few hours would change everything, for them, for humanity, and for the galaxy at large. The shuttle bay of the Horizon buzzed with activity as the rescue team made final preparations. Commander Jack Torres stood at the head of the group, his expression a mix of determination and apprehension. "All right, team, listen up," he called out, silencing the murmurs. "We're about to embark on the most important mission of our lives. Our objective is simple: board the alien vessel, locate survivors, and render aid. But make no mistake, we're stepping into the unknown. Stay alert, stay together, and remember your training." Dr. Samantha Chen double-checked her medkit, filled with an array of tools and medicines she hoped would be compatible with alien physiology. Beside her, Lieutenant Ravi Mehta calibrated his handheld scanner, while Security Chief Alexei Volkov checked and rechecked his non-lethal weaponry. As the team boarded the shuttle, Captain Elara's voice came through the comm system. "Good luck, all of you. You're about to make history. Remember, we're here to help, but don't take unnecessary risks. If things go south, I want you back on the Horizon immediately. Understood?" "Understood, Captain," Jack replied, settling into the pilot's seat. "We'll keep an open channel." The shuttle detached from the Horizon, gliding smoothly towards the alien vessel. As they drew closer, the true scale of the ship became apparent. It dwarfed their shuttle, its hull shimmering with an almost organic quality. "I'm detecting an entry point," Ravi announced, studying his scanner. "Looks like some kind of airlock or docking port on the starboard side." Jack maneuvered the shuttle carefully, aligning it with the alien airlock. With a soft thud and hiss, they made contact. "Atmosphere reads as breathable," Samantha reported, checking her instruments. "Similar to our own, surprisingly. Gravity seems to be Earth normal, too." "Small favors," Jack muttered. "All right, helmets on. We go in together." The team stepped through the airlock, entering a dimly lit corridor. The walls pulsed with a faint bioluminescence, casting eerie shadows. The air was thick with an alien scent, floral yet metallic. "Life signs?" Jack asked. Ravi consulted his scanner. Faint, but present. Multiple readings, about 100 meters ahead. They moved forward cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the strange corridors. Suddenly, a tremor shook the ship, nearly knocking them off their feet. "The ship's structural integrity is failing," Ravi warned. "We don't have much time." As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with their first alien. It was slumped against a wall, its iridescent scales dulled, its large eyes unfocused. It looked at them, trilling weakly. Samantha rushed forward, her medical training kicking in despite the alien nature of her patient. "It's okay," she said soothingly, hoping her tone would convey what her words couldn't. "We're here to help." The alien's eyes widened, focusing on Samantha. It spoke, a series of musical chirps and clicks. "The translator's working on it," Ravi said, fiddling with his device. "It's thanking us, asking for help for the others." Jack nodded. "Lead the way," he told the alien, gesturing ahead. The alien struggled to its feet, leaning heavily on Samantha as it guided them deeper into the ship. They passed through rooms filled with strange technology, pulsing with energy they couldn't begin to understand. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the ship's bridge. A dozen aliens lay scattered around, many unconscious, others barely moving. "My God," Alexei breathed, taking in the scene. Samantha was already moving, her hands flying over her medkit. "I need everyone's help. We need to stabilize them for transport." As the team worked frantically to assist the alien crew, Jack's comm crackled to life. "Commander," Captain Elara's voice came through, tense with urgency. "Our sensors indicate the alien ship's power core is destabilizing. You have 10 minutes before it goes critical." Jack looked around the room, at his team working desperately to save lives, at the alien faces looking up at them with a mixture of fear and hope. "We need more time, Captain," he replied, his jaw set. "There are too many. We can't leave them behind." There was a pause before Elara responded. "Understood, Commander. We'll do what we can from here to buy you more time. But if I give the order to evacuate, I expect you to follow it immediately. Clear?" "Crystal, Captain," Jack answered, already moving to help Samantha with a particularly injured alien. As the minutes ticked by, the rescue team worked tirelessly. They managed to stabilize most of the alien crew, preparing them for emergency transport. But the ship's tremors were growing stronger, more frequent. 2 minutes, Commander," Elara's voice came through again. "You need to get out of there, now." Jack looked around. They had most of the aliens ready for transport, but not all. He made a split-second decision. "Ravi, Alexei, start getting them to the shuttle. Samantha and I will be right behind you with the last 2. As Ravi and Alexei began guiding the aliens out, Jack and Samantha worked frantically on the last injured crew members. The ship groaned around them, the walls pulsing erratically. "Jack," Samantha said, her voice tight, "I don't think we're going to make it." He met her eyes, seeing his own fear reflected there. But beneath it was a steely determination. "We're not leaving them behind, Sam. We'll make it." With a final effort, they got the last aliens to their feet. As they stumbled towards the exit, a massive tremor shook the ship. The ceiling above them began to collapse. Without thinking, Jack threw himself over the aliens, shielding them with his body. He felt a sharp pain as debris struck him, but he didn't let go. Somehow, they made it to the shuttle. As soon as they were aboard, Ravi punched the engines, detaching from the dying alien ship. They watched from the shuttle's viewport as the alien vessel shuddered one last time before exploding in a brilliant flash of light. The shockwave rocked their small craft, but Ravi's skilled piloting kept them steady. As they docked with the horizon, Jack looked around at his team, at the alien survivors they'd rescued. Despite the pain from his injuries, he felt a sense of pride and accomplishment unlike anything he'd experienced before. They had done it. Against all odds, they had saved an alien species and made first contact. As the medical team rushed in to help, Jack caught Samantha's eye. They shared a smile, knowing that this was just the beginning of an adventure beyond their wildest dreams. The days following the daring rescue were a whirlwind of activity aboard the Horizon. The ship's medical bay, never designed to accommodate alien physiology, had been hastily converted into a multi-species trade center. Dr. Samantha Chen worked tirelessly, her face etched with both exhaustion and excitement as she navigated the challenges of treating her new patients. In a quiet corner of the medical bay, Captain Elara Voss stood with Commander Jack Torres, watching the controlled chaos unfold before them. "How are you holding up, Jack?" Elara asked, eyeing the bandage visible beneath his uniform collar. Jack rotated his shoulder giddily. "I've been better, but I've been worse too. How's our first contact situation developing?" Elara's expression was a mixture of pride and concern. "It's complicated. The aliens we rescued, they call themselves the Azurians, are incredibly grateful. But we've also learned that they're not just any aliens. The one you personally saved. She's Princess Silith, heir to the Azurian throne. Jack's eyes widened. You're kidding. So we didn't just make first contact, we saved an alien royal family. Exactly, Ilara nodded. Which means the diplomatic implications of our actions are significant, to say the least. Their conversation was interrupted by Dr. Chen's approach. Captain, Commander, she greeted them, her eyes bright despite the dark circles beneath them. Princess Zilith is awake and asking to speak with her rescuers. I think we're ready for a proper introduction. They followed Samantha to a private room where Princess Zilith sat propped up on a biobed. Her iridescent scales shimmered under the medical bay lights, and her large, compound eyes focused on them as they entered. The princess spoke, her voice a melodious trill that the universal translator converted into English. Captain Voss, Commander Torres, Dr. Chen, I cannot express the depth of our gratitude for your bravery and compassion. Ilara stepped forward, bowing slightly. Princess Zilith, we're honored to have been of assistance. On behalf of humanity, I welcome you and your people aboard the Horizon. Zilith's gaze lingered on Jack. Commander Torres, I understand it was you who shielded me from the collapse of our ship. You risked your life for someone you'd never met, from a species you'd never encountered. Why? Jack shifted uncomfortably under her scrutiny. It's what any of us would have done, Your Highness. We couldn't stand by and watch your people suffer if we had the power to help. The princess's expression was unreadable for a moment before she trilled softly, a sound the humans would come to recognize as laughter. You humans are fascinating creatures, so fragile in form, yet so strong in spirit. Over the next few weeks, as the Azurian survivors recovered, the crew of the Horizon found themselves immersed in a crash course on alien culture. The Azurians, it turned out, were part of a vast interstellar community that humanity had been unaware of until now. Lieutenant Ravi Mehta was in his element, spending hours with the Azurian engineers, exchanging knowledge about their respective technologies. It's incredible, Captain, he reported excitedly during a staff meeting. Their propulsion systems operate on principles we've only theorized about, and their understanding of quantum mechanics is centuries ahead of ours. Security Chief Alexei Volkov, always cautious, raised concerns about sharing too much information too quickly. We need to be careful, he warned. We know nothing about the politics of their interstellar community. We could be inadvertently involving ourselves in conflicts we're not prepared for. Ilara nodded, acknowledging his point. Agreed, Alexei. We'll proceed with caution. But this is also an unprecedented opportunity for humanity. We can't let fear hold us back. As the cultural exchange continued, it became clear that the Azurians were equally fascinated by humans. They marveled at humanity's adaptability, their ability to thrive in a galaxy they had believed themselves alone in until now. Princess Zilith, in particular, seemed drawn to human culture. She spent much of her time with Jack, peppering him with questions about Earth, human history, and their explorations of space. One evening, as they stood in the Horizon's observation lounge, watching the stars streak by, Zilith turned to Jack. Your people have accomplished so much, isolated on your single world. Imagine what you could achieve with access to the knowledge and resources of the galactic community. Jack smiled. It's exciting to think about, but I imagine it also comes with its own set of challenges. Zilith's expression grew serious. Indeed it does, Commander. There are forces in our galaxy that would view your people as a threat, or worse, as an opportunity to be exploited. Your arrival on the galactic stage will not go unnoticed. Before Jack could respond, the ship's alert system blared to life. Captain Ilara's voice came over the intercom. All senior staff report to the bridge immediately. We have a situation. As Jack and Zilith rushed to the bridge, a sense of foreboding settled over them. Their peaceful cultural exchange was about to be interrupted, and the true test of human Azurian cooperation was about to begin. On the bridge, Ilara stood tense, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. A massive ship, dwarfing even the Azurian vessel they had encountered, hung in space before them. Its design was angular, aggressive, bristling with what were unmistakably weapons. "We're being hailed," Ravi announced, his voice tight. Ilara took a deep breath. On screen, the face that appeared was alien, but not Azurian. Sharp, predatory features and cold, calculating eyes regarded them with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "I am Supreme Commander Vex of the Drachnid Empire," the alien announced, its voice a guttural growl. "You are harboring fugitives of the Empire. Surrender the Azurian princess immediately, or face annihilation." As the weight of the alien's words settled over the bridge, the crew of the Horizon realized that their adventure had suddenly become far more dangerous than they could have imagined. The peaceful cultural exchange had come to an abrupt end, and now they found themselves on the brink of an interstellar conflict. Ilara's voice was steady as she responded. "This is Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth ship Horizon. We rescued the Azurians from a ship in distress. We were unaware of any conflict. Perhaps we can discuss this situation diplomatically." Vex's eyes narrowed. "There is nothing to discuss, human. You have involved yourself in matters beyond your understanding. Surrender the princess or be destroyed. You have one of your Earth hours to comply." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. The bridge of the Horizon erupted into a flurry of activity as soon as the transmission ended. Captain Ilara Voss turned to her crew, her face a mask of determination. "All right, people, we need options. Ravi, what could you tell me about that ship?" Lieutenant Meta's fingers flew over his console. "It's massive, Captain. At least 10 times our size. Energy readings are off the charts. Their weapons, I've never seen anything like them." Security Chief Volkov interjected. "We're outgunned, Captain. Even with our most advanced systems, we don't stand a chance in a direct confrontation." Princess Silith stepped forward, her iridescent scales shimmering with agitation. "Captain Voss, I must apologize. I never intended to bring this conflict to your doorstep. The Drachnids have been pursuing my people for generations, seeking to exploit our technological knowledge." Ilara raised a hand to quiet the princess. "Your Highness, we don't abandon those under our protection. Commander Taurus, what's your assessment?" Jack's mind raced, considering and discarding options. "We can't outfight them, and I doubt we can outrun them. But maybe we can outsmart them." He turned to Zilith. "Princess, you mentioned that the Drachnids want your technology. What if we could convince them we've integrated some of that tech into our systems?" Zilith's compound eyes widened. "A bluff, it's risky, but it might buy us some time." Dr. Chen, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "What about the medical nanites we used to treat the Azurians? Could we repurpose them?" Ravi's eyes lit up. "That's brilliant. If we could reconfigure them to mimic Azurian energy signatures, we might be able to fool their sensors into thinking we're more advanced than we are." Ilara nodded, a plan forming. "All right, let's make it happen. Ravi, work with Dr. Chen on those nanites. Alexei, I want every non-essential system rerouted to shields and our holo-projectors. If we're going to bluff, let's make it convincing." As the crew sprang into action, Jack pulled Ilara aside. "Captain, what if this doesn't work? We need a backup plan." Ilara's expression was grim. "I know, Jack. That's why I need you to prep a shuttle. If things go south, you're to escort Princess Silith to safety. The coordinates of Earth are in a sealed file in my quarters. If we don't make it, humanity needs to be warned about the threats out here." Jack wanted to protest, to insist he wouldn't leave his captain and crew behind, but he recognized the necessity of the order. He nodded sullenly and left to make preparations. The next hour was a whirlwind of activity. Ravi and Samantha worked feverishly to reprogram the medical nanites, while Alexei oversaw the ship's reconfiguration. Princess Silith provided what information she could about Drachnid tactics and weaknesses. As the deadline approached, Captain Ilara stood at the center of the bridge, her posture radiating calm authority despite the tension in the air. "Status report," she commanded. Ravi spoke first, his voice tight with exhaustion and nervous energy. Nanites are reprogrammed and deployed, Captain. They're mimicking Azurian energy signatures throughout the ship. With luck, their sensors will be fooled. Alexei chimed in, shields are at maximum. Holoprojectors are ready to simulate weapon ports and additional hull plating. It won't hold up under close inspection, but it might make them think twice. Ilara nodded, then turned to Zilith. Princess, I'm afraid I have to ask for your help one more time. Your presence on the bridge might lend credibility to our bluff. Zilith straightened, her royal bearing evident. Of course, Captain. My people are in your debt. I stand with you. As the final seconds ticked away, Ilara took a deep breath. Open a channel. The menacing visage of Supreme Commander Vex filled the view screen once more. Your time is up, humans. What is your decision? Ilara stepped forward, her voice steady. Supreme Commander, we will not be surrendering Princess Silith or any of our Azurian guests. Furthermore, we warn you that any aggressive action will be met with the full force of our integrated Azurian defense systems. Vex's eyes narrowed dangerously. You dare to threaten the Drachnid Empire. Your primitive ship is no match for our power. Perhaps not a standard Earth vessel, Ilara countered smoothly. But as you can see, she gestured to Zilith, we've had time to upgrade. Are you certain you want to test our capabilities? For a moment, doubt flickered across Vex's alien features. The Horizon's sensors detected energy fluctuations in the Drachnid ship as they ran additional scans. Ravi whispered urgently, they're probing us, Captain. The nanites are holding, but I don't know for how long. The tension on the bridge was palpable as they waited for Vex's response. Finally, the Drachnid commander spoke, his tone less certain than before. You play a dangerous game, humans. This is not over. We will be watching. The transmission cut off abruptly. For a few agonizing moments, everyone held their breath, waiting to see if the Drachnid ship would attack. Then, slowly, it began to move away, disappearing into the depths of space. A collective sigh of relief swept through the bridge. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Well done, everyone. But don't relax just yet. Something tells me this is only the beginning. As the adrenaline of the confrontation began to wear off, the reality of their situation sank in. The Horizon and her crew were now irrevocably involved in a complex interstellar conflict. They had made powerful enemies, and their actions would have far-reaching consequences for Earth and humanity. Jack approached Ilara, his expression serious. Captain, what's our next move? Ilara looked out at the stars, her mind already racing with possibilities and potential dangers. We need to get word back to Earth. They need to know what's out here. But we also can't abandon the Azurians. Whatever we do next, Commander, we're in uncharted territory now. As the Horizon hung in the vastness of space, its crew knew that their greatest challenges, and perhaps humanity's greatest adventure, lay ahead. The galaxy had become a much larger, more dangerous, and more wondrous place than they had ever imagined. The following weeks aboard the Horizon were tense, filled with a mixture of anticipation and dread. Captain Ilara Voss had made the difficult decision to continue their journey deeper into space rather than returning directly to Earth. Their encounter with the Drachnids had made it clear that humanity needed more information about the complex political landscape of the galaxy before they could safely make their presence known. Princess Silith had become an invaluable ally, sharing her knowledge of the various species and factions that populated this sector of space. The crew listened intently during briefings, trying to wrap their heads around the vastness of the interstellar community they had stumbled into. The Drachnids are not the only threat out here, Zilith explained during one such meeting. There are dozens of species and alliances, each with their own agendas. Some, like my people, seek peaceful coexistence. Others, she trailed off, her compound eyes darkening. Commander Jack Torres leaned forward. Others would see us as easy prey. Zilith nodded sullenly. Precisely. Your arrival on the galactic stage has likely already sent ripples through the community. We must be prepared for others to come investigating. As if on cue, Lieutenant Ravi Mehta's voice came urgently over the intercom. Captain to the bridge. We're picking up multiple ships on an intercept course. The senior staff rushed to their stations, adrenaline pumping. On the main view screen, a fleet of sleek, predatory-looking vessels rapidly approached. 7 ships, Alexei reported from Tactical. Configuration unknown, but energy readings suggest heavy weaponry. Ilara's mind raced. "Hail them," she ordered. A moment later, a new alien face appeared on screen. This species had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern and mottled green skin. "Attention, unknown vessel," the alien spoke, its voice oddly melodic despite its harsh appearance. "This is Captain Krex of the Vaughn Consortium. You are trespassing in our space. Prepare to be boarded and processed." Ilara stepped forward, her voice steady. "This is Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth ship Horizon. We're on a peaceful mission of exploration. We mean you no harm and request safe passage." Krex's 4 eyes blinked in unison. "Earth? Never heard of it. But your ship, it's giving off some very interesting energy readings. I'm sure we can find a buyer for it, and its crew." The transmission cut off, and Ilara turned to her crew. Battle stations, evasive maneuvers. The Horizon banked hard, narrowly avoiding the first volley of energy weapons from the Vaughn ships. The ship shuddered under the near misses. "Shields at 80% and holding," Alexei reported, returning fire. The space around them lit up with weapons fire. The Horizon, despite being outnumbered, proved surprisingly agile. Ravi's modifications, inspired by Azurian technology, gave them an edge in speed and maneuverability. But the Vaughn ships pressed their attack relentlessly. A lucky shot rocked the Horizon, sending sparks flying across the bridge. "Direct hit," Alexei shouted, shields down to 40%. Ilara gripped her command chair. "Ravi, we need options." Ravi's fingers flew over his console. "Captain, I have an idea. It's risky, but what if we use the nanites to create a false censored echo? Make it look like we've multiplied." "Do it," Ilara ordered without hesitation. Within moments, the space around the Horizon seemed to shimmer. To the Vaughn sensors, it would appear as if a dozen identical ships had suddenly materialized. The gambit worked. The Vaughn fleet's formation broke as they tried to target the Phantom ships. In the confusion, the Horizon managed to slip past their line. "We're clear," Jack announced. "But they're regrouping. We can't outrun them forever." Suddenly, Princess Silith rushed onto the bridge. "Captain, I have an idea. There's a nearby nebula, rich in element 2 to 5-9. If we can lure the Vaughn there." Ilara caught on immediately. Their sensors would be useless. "Helm, set course for that nebula full speed." The Horizon raced towards the colorful gas cloud, the Vaughn fleet in hot pursuit. As they entered the nebula, visibility dropped to near zero, and sensors became unreliable. "All stop," Ilara commanded. "Cut all non-essential power. Let's hope they fly right past us." The crew held their breath as the energy signatures of the Vaughn ships approached, and then slowly faded as they overshot the Horizon's position. Minutes that felt like hours passed before Ravi finally reported, "They're gone, Captain. I think we lost them." A collective sigh of relief swept through the bridge, but their reprieve was short-lived. "Captain," Alexei called out, his voice tense. "I'm picking up a massive energy surge. Something's coming through. It's a wormhole." The nebula lit up as a swirling vortex of energy tore open space itself. From it emerged a ship of impossible size and design, dwarfing even the Drachnid vessel they had encountered earlier. "By the stars," Zilith whispered, her voice filled with awe and fear. "It's the architects. They're supposed to be a myth." As the colossal ship approached, the crew of the Horizon realized that their adventure had taken yet another unexpected turn. They had escaped one danger only to face something beyond their wildest imaginations. Ilara straightened in her chair, her voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. "Well, crew, it looks like we're about to make history again. Let's hope these architects are in a talking mood." As the massive ship drew near, the Horizon and her crew braced themselves for an encounter that could change the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. The bridge of the Horizon was silent as the crew stared in awe at the massive ship that had emerged from the wormhole. Its design defied conventional understanding, with sections that seemed to phase in and out of reality. "Captain," Ravi reported, his voice hushed with wonder. "I'm detecting energy readings unlike anything we've ever seen. Their technology, it's beyond advanced. It's almost like magic." Jack finished, earning a nod from Ravi. Princess Silith stepped forward, her iridescent scales shimmering with excitement and trepidation. "The architects are said to be the oldest species in the galaxy, perhaps even its creators, but they haven't been seen in millennia. Their appearance now, it can't be coincidence." Before anyone could respond, a beam of soft, prismatic light enveloped the bridge. When it faded, a being stood before them. It was humanoid in shape, but its form shimmered and shifted, as if struggling to maintain a single appearance. "Greetings, children of Earth and Azuria," the being spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in their minds. "We are the architects, and we have been watching your journey with great interest." Captain Ilara stepped forward, her posture straight and dignified despite her awe. "I am Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth ship Horizon. We're honored by your presence, but I must ask, why have you revealed yourselves to us?" The architect's form rippled, and for a moment, it seemed to smile. "Your species, humans, have achieved something remarkable. In your isolation, you developed not just technology, but a spirit of exploration and cooperation that is rare in this galaxy. Your encounter with the Azurians, your defense against the Drachnids and the Vaughn, these actions have set in motion events that will reshape the cosmic order." The crew exchanged glances, the weight of the architect's words settling upon them. "But surely," Jack interjected, "we're not the first species to make first contact or defend ourselves." "No," the architect agreed, "but you are the first in a very long time to do so with such creativity and compassion. You did not conquer or submit. You adapted, cooperated, and in doing so, you've sparked a change that has been long overdue." Zilith stepped forward, her royal bearing evident even in the presence of this godlike being. "What do you mean by change? What is to become of our peoples?" The architect's form shifted again, this time resembling a swirling galaxy. "For too long, the interstellar community has been locked in cycles of conflict and stagnation. Your actions have demonstrated a different path. We believe you, humans and Azurians together, can be the catalyst for a new era of cooperation and advancement." Ilara's mind raced with the implications. "You're talking about reshaping the political landscape of the entire galaxy. That's an enormous responsibility." "Indeed it is," the architect agreed. "But we would not propose it if we did not believe you were capable. We offer you our guidance and protection as you undertake this journey." As the crew of the Horizon absorbed this monumental proposal, alarms suddenly blared. Alexi's hands flew over his console. "Captain, multiple ships dropping out of FTL. It's everyone. Drachnids, Vaughn, and at least a dozen other species I can't identify." The architect seemed unperturbed. "Ah, right on schedule. The word of your exploits has spread faster than you realized. These forces have come seeking either alliance or conquest. This, Captain Voss, is your first test." Ilara looked at her crew, seeing in their eyes the same mix of fear and determination she felt. Then she turned back to the architect. "We accept your offer and the responsibility that comes with it. But we'll do this our way, with diplomacy first, and force only as a last resort." The architect's form stabilized, now resembling a being of pure light. "We would expect nothing less. The stage is yours, Captain. Show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. With a nod to her crew, Ilara straightened her uniform and turned to face the view screen. Open a channel to all ships. It's time to introduce ourselves properly. As Ilara began to speak, her words carried not just to the assembled fleet, but across subspace to countless worlds beyond. This is Captain Ilara Voss of Earth. On behalf of humanity and our Azurian allies, I extend an invitation to all species, all civilizations. Today, we stand at a crossroads. We can continue down the path of conflict and isolation, or we can choose a new way forward, one of cooperation, mutual understanding, and shared progress. She paused, her gaze sweeping across her crew, lingering on Jack, Zilith, and each member who had brought them to this moment. We are not conquerors. We are explorers, diplomats, scientists, and dreamers. And we believe that together, we can build a galaxy that thrives on diversity and innovation rather than conquest and subjugation. To those who have come seeking battle, I urge you to reconsider. To those seeking alliance, we welcome you with open arms. And to all, we offer a challenge to join us in writing a new chapter in the history of our galaxy. As Ilara's words echoed across the cosmos, the crew of the Horizon held their breath. The next few moments would determine not just their fate, but potentially the course of galactic civilization for millennia to come. Slowly, responses began to come in. Some ships backed away, while others moved forward, signaling their willingness to talk. The Drachnids and Vaughn, after a tense moment, powered down their weapons. A new channel opened, and a multitude of alien faces appeared on the view screen, each representing a different species or faction. Their expressions ranged from curiosity to cautious optimism. Captain Voss, one of the alien leaders, spoke. Your words are intriguing. Perhaps there is wisdom in this new path you propose. We are willing to listen. As discussions began, Ilara felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Jack, grinning broadly. Well, Captain, he said, it looks like our mission of exploration just got a whole lot bigger. Ilara smiled back, then looked out at the assembled fleet, at the stars beyond, and at the shimmer of the architect's ship watching over them all. Indeed it has, Commander. Indeed it has. And so, in the vast expanse of space, aboard a ship named for the boundary between the known and unknown, humanity took its first steps into a larger, more complex, and infinitely more wondrous galaxy than they had ever dreamed possible. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with dangers and marvels in equal measure. But with their ingenuity, compassion, and unwavering spirit of exploration, the crew of the Horizon, and humanity as a whole, were ready to face whatever the cosmos had in store. The era of Earth's isolation was over. The age of galactic cooperation had begun, and the greatest adventure in human history was just getting started.